On this slide, we're talking about just the traditional credit data, alternative credit data. You have the trade lines, credit cards, auto loan, mortgage, credit inquiry, internal records, and bankruptcy. And then on the alternative credit data, you have the alternative financial service data, rental payments, asset ownership, utility payments, full file public records, consumer permission data. This slide, I just did another slide on alternative to traditional small business loans. We pretty much went over those and talked about those. I didn't talk a lot about the grants and the equipment financing, um, but those are another couple of options that you can use when it comes down to alternative lending. So it's not just about getting money that you have to pay back. You also have the peer-to-peer lending and the equipment financing, and you also can use, which is what that would result in collateral. Examples of business benefiting from alternative lending: expanding seating in a restaurant. So if you expand your seating in a restaurant, that allows you the opportunity to have more customers. If you have more customers, you're going to make more money. So those, again, that's some examples of why you would want to seek more lending, more funding. Meeting payroll or tax obligations. There's not a business, small business and big business always need it. Sometimes have payroll issues, right? They may not tell you about it, but they have those concerns. Expanded to online sales. So when you want to go from the storefront to online sales, there's another opportunity for you to be able to get the money that you need. Maybe, again, like I said, it doesn't have to be financing. It could be angel investors. It could be peer-to-peer lending. But these are some options. Funding for smaller business and gig workers. We went over this already, but I just wanted to just remind you about the alternative lender when it comes down to gig workers, because we never want to leave them out. Gig workers, again, are your hairstylists, your Uber drivers, Lyft drivers. I always tell them, if you're driving Uber or you're driving Lyft, get you a business bank account. Start creating that business platform so that you can maximize. You maybe can get a new car, a better car, so that you can take more passengers. Business structuring and credit building. Importance of proper business structuring. Steps to build business credit. How alternative lenders assist in this process. Helping businesses become eligible for traditional financing in the future. So that's when I spoke to you about the 411, making sure your business, you want to make sure that your EIN and your Secretary of State, the addresses, everything is in alignment. It was so funny because a few months ago, I was in a rush when I set up another one of my business, and they made me go back and put LLC on the EIN part. And I'm like, why do I have to put that? Well, it all has to be in sync. It all has to look the same. Again, because lenders, vendors, creditors will not take you serious. They will, and you don't want to have a Gmail. Get rid of Gmail, get rid of your Hotmail. You want to make sure that you have a .com or a .org, a 1-800 number, business 1-800 number. Not even with your cell phone, you want to have a business cell phone. And I always, again, I will say, everything with business is bigger and better because you get better terms when you go and ask for a business cell phone. Even with the Wi-Fi, you get Wi. And it's so funny sometimes. I always ask the cable people, like, so if I have this in my house as personal, you don't give me as many gigabytes or anything like that. I have to own a business, so it's just so unique how when you go into the business lifestyle, how they just upgrade everything. Business credit and personal credit matters when you're applying for hard money cash and or better interest rate. However, 90% of items need to be purchased can be purchased from EIN only. Um, Suggestions: use an alternative lending to build business credit, get funding without personal credit, repay on time to build business credit scores, establish vendor accounts to improve credibility. And I will stress again to make sure when you're going, Home Depot have vendor credit, but it doesn't report to Dun and Bradstreet or Experian or Business Equifax. So you can get Home Depot, but if you're trying to build that business credit platform, you want to make sure that you're asking questions. Sam's will actually give you a business credit card. You have to actually go there and apply, but you have to make sure that the representative do not use your social security number. So you have to check the checker, make sure they're entering your information the correct way. So this is the lean canvas template that I was speaking to you about. This is a system. This is part of SCORE. Next steps and key takeaways. Alternative lending is a tool, not a trap when used strategically. Remember when I went back and I just was talking to you about the make sure you know where your money is going, have a plan for it, get your business plan. Well, that's when you can lean back on SCORE on the lean canvas. Business credit is separate from personal credit. Leverage it, leverage it, leverage it, leverage it. Be smart with the money or the funding that you get. Generational wealth starts with knowledge. It's time to teach financial literacy. Exclusive offer, free resources for SCORE members. You can actually go to my website and download How to Build Business Credit. It's a free download um, tool there. Um, and then also you can run your business through the fundability scan just to see how your business looks to creditors. It's all free and it's there, and it'll just kind of walk you through. Let's just talk about recap the advantages of alternative lending, importance of understanding both traditional and alternative options, encouragement to explore alternative lending as a viable option. So these are some of the tools that I made just because of the fact that I'm just vested into our families building generational wealth and really actually knowing what tools they need to be successful. So I created a financial literacy calendar. Um, that's just a little glance of it. And I also created an activity book just talking about wealth building. Actually, the calendar, it gives you a day-to-day um, activities on how to start building business credit, and it talks about generational wealth. Like I really took a lot of time just to spend with it just so that we can have that conversation. I don't know if a lot of y'all remember back in the day when we were younger, we had to sit at the dining room table and we had those conversations. That was my intention when I did the activity calendar and also the workbook. I want to kind of get those conversations going back in the household. I don't know if we talk about financial information in the household like we probably should. So I have some items on there that's just fun conversations. Even for like doing at the end of the week, you have an option to do a vision board with the family. Any questions? How do you get business credit? Like if I haven't applied, at least do I have none, or do they go by other things? So if you have a business, if you have a business, you have to look on Equifax business and Experian business to see if they actually ever, if anything that you've ever purchased is actually appearing on there. 9 times out of 10, it's probably appearing on there, and you don't even know that it's appearing. But you actually can, again, like I said, ask the vendors and ask the banks whenever you're going to purchase something or to finance something, ask them, is this going to help me for my business credit platform? And again, regardless of whether you use it or not, um, you may have something on there. And if you have something on there and you don't know that it's on there, it's probably showing bad. And a lot of times you get denied for when you go for your personal and you're saying, well, my personal credit is good. Why did I get denied? Well, that's because they checked your business credit and you don't even know it. Or you'll get, if your personal credit is good and they deny it, well, you won't get the maximum amount of money. I had a gentleman who was speaking to me, and he told me that he did get about $30,000 from his personal credit for his business, but he truly needed more. But he was not interested in knowing more about business credit because he kept saying, well, I'm fine. I'm able to get the money with my personal credit is great. Your personal credit is good, but you can't, it's harder to get 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, the money that you really need to be successful with your business. 30,000 will probably help you for a startup wise, but once you start getting into your business and you need more money, you want to make sure again, you have the business credit so you can get more. Additional recorded webinars that SCORE have. They have developing your employee recruiting strategy, capacity building on demand, St. Pete Greenhouse. Here's stpetegreenhouse.com. Employee retention strategies for small business owners, capacity building on demand again, and then coaching skills for an engaged workforce. All real good tools that we need to be successful in our business.